A grown man once demanded his ice cream be room temperature. Another guy weighed his fries against a menu photo, in his car, with a real kitchen scale. Somewhere in America right now, someone is arguing with a teenager through a speaker box about the shape of a pickle. Drive-thru workers see it all, and today we are going through the most absurd complaints they have ever heard. 1. Somewhere in the middle of Ohio, a woman pulled up to a fast food window and demanded the manager because her fries were too hot. Not undercooked, not cold, too hot. She said she burned the roof of her mouth while eating them in the parking lot and wanted the entire meal comped, plus a coupon, plus, and I quote, a written apology from corporate. The manager, bless her, just handed over a fresh order and wished the lady a better afternoon. 2. Right around lunch rush at a burger place in Phoenix, a guy in a lifted truck started screaming that his soda cup was, wait for it, wet on the outside. He was convinced the cup was leaking. It was condensation. In Phoenix, in July. When the crew tried to explain that a cold drink in 110-degree air is going to sweat, he escalated to demanding a refund for his shirt. Physics does not care about your shirt, sir. 3. Deep into a Saturday night shift at a taco place in Texas, a woman rolled through and asked for a burrito with no beans, no rice, no cheese, no meat, and no sauce. The cashier, trying to stay professional, asked what she actually wanted inside the tortilla. The woman snapped back that they were the professionals and should know. She ended up with a tortilla folded in half and left a 1-star review the next morning. 4. At a coffee drive-thru in Seattle, a regular customer complained that her iced latte was, get this, too cold. She wanted iced, but not that iced. The barista offered a warm latte. Refused. She wanted an iced latte that was not cold. This is not a riddle. This is a real conversation that happened on a Tuesday morning before 8 in the morning. What is even the correct answer here? 5. Late one Friday night at a chicken chain outside Atlanta, a guy demanded his money back because the drive-thru menu had a picture of a sandwich that looked bigger than the one he received. He wanted the manager to measure both, with a ruler. He had brought a ruler. In his glove box, just in case. 6. Right in the middle of a busy dinner rush in Denver, a lady in a minivan complained that her chicken nuggets were shaped weird. She said one looked like a boot, another looked like a duck, and she felt the store was mocking her personally. She wanted a fresh batch shaped like nuggets. Actual nugget shape. The crew reheated the same ones after 30 seconds, and she said they were perfect. Same nuggets, same boot, same duck. 7. On a lazy Sunday afternoon at a coffee stand in Portland, a customer demanded to know why her decaf was making her jittery. The barista politely explained that decaf still has a small amount of caffeine left in it, usually about 2 to 15 milligrams a cup. She called that misleading and asked for a hot chocolate instead, which also has caffeine. Nobody had the heart to tell her. 8. Halfway between the first and second window at a burger drive-thru in Florida, a guy started honking because his order was taking too long. It had been 90 seconds. He filmed the whole thing for a complaint video, then got out of his car to yell at the speaker, at which point his line held up traffic for another 12 minutes behind him. He posted the video anyway. Would you have stayed in line behind him or backed out? 9. Right after a Little League game in Kansas, a mom rolled up with 6 kids and ordered 6 identical Happy Meals, then complained that all 6 toys were the same. She wanted variety. The staff explained that this week's promotion only had 1 toy design. She demanded they check the storeroom for last month's toys, then last year's. Then, at that point, any toys they had in the back. Toys from home. Whatever. 10. Deep into the graveyard shift at a taco place in New Mexico, a guy in a bathrobe pulled up and complained that the menu was, in his exact words, discriminating against people who don't know what they want. He wanted the crew to guess his order. When they guessed wrong, he drove off angry. When they guessed right 2 nights later, he complained they were profiling him. 11. During a rainy morning in Tennessee, a woman at a donut window returned her coffee 3 times because the lid wasn't clicking on the way she liked. She said a proper lid should click twice. This company's lids click once. That is by design. She demanded they redesign the lid. The manager said she'd pass it along to corporate, which she did not, because that is not a real thing anyone can do. 12. In a quiet suburb of Chicago, A guy at a burger drive-thru complained that his milkshake was too thick to drink through the straw. The crew offered a thicker straw or a spoon. He said the straw was fine and the shake should be thinner. Also thicker. He wanted both. Somehow. At the same time. This is a milkshake, not a mood ring. 13. Late one Tuesday at a chicken place in Louisiana, a customer complained that his biscuit tasted like a biscuit. He said he was expecting something different. When asked what he was expecting from a biscuit, he paused for a long moment and answered, "More. Just more." He wanted more biscuit from his biscuit. The philosophy department at Tulane could not have written it better. 14. Right before closing at a coffee shop in Ohio, a woman pulled up and asked for a small coffee. She was informed the smallest size on the menu was called a short. She demanded a size smaller than a short. When told that would basically be an empty cup, she said, "Exactly," and paid full price for a cup with 2 sips in it, then complained it was not enough. This woman is playing chess. We are playing checkers. Anyone else's grandma pull this move? 15. On a cold morning in Minnesota, a guy at a fast food window asked why his soda did not have ice. He was told he had asked for no ice. He said he never said that. The receipt said it. The camera showed it. His own wife in the passenger seat said it. He still asked for the manager. The manager watched the video and agreed with the wife. 16. Out in Arizona, in the parking lot of a burger chain, a customer stormed back inside because his fries had salt on them. Regular fries. Salted, like they have been for decades. He demanded to know when the company had made this change, which they had not, ever, in the entire history of the company. He wanted the person responsible fired, which would be, basically, everyone who has ever worked there. 17. Deep into a summer heat wave in Vegas, a woman rolled up to an ice cream drive-thru and complained that her cone was melting. She had been sitting in the parking lot for 20 minutes, eating it slowly with the AC off. She wanted a fresh one, on the house that would not melt. The manager offered a cup instead, which she called a downgrade. Ice cream in a cup is a downgrade only if you are fighting the laws of nature. 18. Near the tail end of a lunch rush in Boston, a guy demanded a refund because his fish sandwich tasted like fish. He said he thought it would taste more like chicken. When asked why he ordered a fish sandwich if he wanted chicken, he said the fish sandwich was on sale that week. That was, apparently, an answer. In his head, to him. 19. On a quiet Wednesday at a taco place in Oregon, a customer complained that her hard-shell taco was, quote, aggressive. She said the crunch was startling her. She wanted a hard shell that was soft. Not a soft shell. A soft hard shell. The crew microwaved it for her, which turned it into a floppy, sad taco, and she said that was worse. Correct on one thing at least. Team hard shell or team soft shell? Fight it out in the comments. 20. Over at a coffee window in North Carolina, a man complained that his espresso was too small. He was told a single shot is about 1 ounce, and that has been the size since espresso was invented in Italy. He said other places give more. When asked which places, he named a large soda cup at a gas station. That is not espresso, that is regret in a cup. 21. Late on a Thursday in California, a lady demanded to speak to the owner of a national burger chain because her pickles were the wrong shape. Round, not oval. She said the oval ones taste better. The crew, being crew, do not cut the pickles. The pickles arrive already sliced, in bags, from a supplier. This information did not satisfy her. She wanted the crew to hand-cut fresh pickles into ovals during a Thursday dinner rush. 22. In the middle of a snowstorm in Buffalo, a guy at a drive-thru complained that his coffee got cold on the drive home. His home was 30 minutes away. It was 17 degrees outside. He wanted the coffee to stay hot for the entire drive with the window cracked open. The manager, to her credit, did not laugh into the headset. She waited until after she closed the drawer. 23. On a slow afternoon in Georgia, a customer complained that her sweet tea was too sweet. It is sweet tea. That is the entire concept. That is the name of the product printed on the sign. She asked for it to be less sweet, but still sweet tea, but also less sweet. They gave her unsweetened tea with 2 packets of sugar stirred in, and she said it was perfect. Do not ask me to explain this. 24. Between the menu board and the window at a burger place in Michigan, a guy ordered a plain cheeseburger. Plain. Just cheese. When he got it, he complained there were no pickles, no onions, no lettuce, no tomato. The cashier played the audio back through the speaker. He heard himself say plain. Then he argued that plain means with everything, because that is how you plainly make a burger. His words, not mine. 25. Deep into a holiday weekend at a chicken place in Missouri, a family of 4 complained that their bucket of chicken had too much chicken in it. They wanted more sides. They had ordered a chicken bucket. With chicken. Labeled as a chicken bucket, on a menu, next to a picture of a chicken bucket. The dad asked why they did not call it a side bucket if it had sides. The son quietly ate a drumstick and stayed out of it, which was honestly the smartest move in the whole van. 26. Right around brunch time, on a Sunday in San Diego, a man rolled up to a burger drive-thru at 10:47 and demanded breakfast. Breakfast had ended at 10:30. He said the sign advertised breakfast, so they should serve breakfast. That is how signs work, he insisted. The manager explained the grill had already been switched over and cleaned for lunch. He filed a complaint online titled false advertising, which is a bold way to describe a clock. 27. Somewhere deep in Ohio farm country, a woman at a coffee window presented a coupon from 2019. Faded, coffee-stained, ripped in half. She wanted it honored. The barista pointed out the expiration date, printed clearly from 6 years ago. The lady said dates on coupons were just suggestions. They are not. That is literally the opposite of what an expiration date is. She refused to leave until the manager came out with a fresh coupon just to end the standoff. 28. Over at a chicken place in South Carolina, a customer ordered a gluten-free grilled chicken sandwich. Then he asked for a regular bun. When the cashier gently mentioned the bun contained gluten, he said, "So." He wanted the gluten-free sandwich on a gluten bun and got angry when told that defeated the entire point. He was not gluten intolerant. He just liked ordering it that way. The word gluten was doing a lot of heavy lifting in his life. 29. Late one evening at a taco place in Nevada, a woman ordered a beef burrito and complained after one bite that she was allergic to beef. She had specifically asked for beef. Twice. It was written on the receipt. It was repeated back through the speaker. She wanted a refund plus damages for, quote, emotional distress. The manager offered a refund. She wanted more. She got the refund and nothing else and left claiming she'd be calling a lawyer. Spoiler, she did not. Have you ever met someone who was allergic to their own order? 30. Way back in the corner of a Kentucky parking lot, a guy in a Honda complained the drive-thru window was too high. He drove a sedan. The window was set for pickup trucks and SUVs. He wanted them to lower the window, physically, now. The manager offered to walk out to the car with the bag. He said that was, and I quote, beneath his dignity. Dignity in a Honda, at 11 at night, at a fast food place. Somewhere, a philosopher wept. 31. On a windy afternoon in coastal Maine, a woman complained she couldn't understand the order taker's accent. The order taker was from 2 towns over. Same state. Same accent as hers, actually. When this was pointed out, she said she'd never sounded like that. Her husband, in the passenger seat, quietly nodded and said nothing, which is the mark of a long marriage. Her order came out fine, by the way. Everyone had understood her perfectly. 32. Around 3 in the morning at a burger place in Oklahoma, a guy demanded to know why the drive-thru speaker wasn't playing music while he waited. He said other places have music. They do not. That is not a thing. He named a place that was actually a dentist's office he had visited last week. Different waiting experience entirely. The crew, running on coffee and spite, offered to hum. He drove off before they finished. 33. In the middle of a rainy Tuesday in Indiana, a lady counted her napkins. 6. She wanted 8. The cashier handed over 2 more. She wanted them from a fresh stack, not the loose ones. She wanted the sealed pack. Then she wanted them warmed. Napkins do not need to be warm. Nothing about a napkin's job requires heat. This is the kind of complaint that makes you question every decision that led up to this shift. 34. At a burger drive-thru in Wisconsin around lunch, a guy complained he only got 4 ketchup packets. He had ordered a small fry. 4 is generous for a small fry. He wanted 20. The crew gave him 20. He came back the next day and complained 20 was too many, and now he had ketchup all over his glove box. Nobody told him to put them in the glove box. Life comes at you fast when you make bad choices. 35. Over near the coast in Rhode Island, a woman at a coffee drive-thru asked to be seated. The barista, politely, reminded her this was a drive-thru. No seating, no inside, just a window. She said fine then, and asked for a table brought out to her car. That is not a service, anywhere, ever. She left a review calling them, quote, unaccommodating. This particular location had been drive-thru only since it opened, 10 years ago. 36. One quiet Sunday morning in central Iowa, a man ordered a small sauce cup on the side. He got one. He complained it was too small. It is a sauce cup. That is the size of a sauce cup. He wanted a bigger cup. They gave him 3. He wanted them all in one big cup. They do not sell big cups for sauce. That would just be a bowl. He wanted a bowl. In his car, from a drive-thru, of ranch dressing. Just a bowl of it. Would you drink it or would you dip it? Asking for a friend. 37. Right after school let out in suburban Dallas, a mom at a fast food window asked if she could order a dog treat for her dog. There was no dog. She just wanted a free biscuit. When the crew politely declined, she said her dog was invisible, and this was discrimination against invisible dogs. That is a sentence a human being said out loud on a Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon with 3 cars behind her listening in real time. Name a bolder move. I dare you. 38. Late one night in a small Kansas town, a grown man ordered a kid's meal and complained that the toy was for kids. He wanted an adult toy in his kid's meal. That is not what a kid's meal is. That is not what any of those words mean together. The manager offered to swap it for a keychain from the lost and found box, which he happily accepted. Somehow, everyone won. The keychain was in the shape of a pineapple. He said it was perfect. 39. Right at the second window in a Georgia drive-thru, a woman handed over a $100 bill for a $2 coffee. The cashier explained they didn't have enough change for $100 that early in the morning. She said they should. She said it was their job. She wanted them to run to the bank during the shift, with her sitting there. Behind her, 7 cars waited. Nobody was having a good time. She left with the coffee, no change, and a grudge. 40. Halfway through a Friday rush in New Jersey, a man complained his receipt paper felt cheap. The paper. The receipt paper itself. He said other places have thicker paper. This is thermal receipt paper. It is the same everywhere. He wanted a printed color receipt on cardstock from a drive-thru for a 2-piece chicken meal. This is not a wedding invitation. This is proof of purchase for 4 chicken tenders and a biscuit. 41. Way out past the last exit in rural Montana, a guy pulled up to a coffee drive-thru and asked to use the bathroom. This particular location was drive-thru only. No lobby, no bathroom, just a window and a shed with the espresso machine. He said he'd been driving for hours. He wanted them to build a bathroom, right then. He said he'd wait. He did wait. About 4 minutes. Then he drove off into the sunset, still needing that bathroom. 42. In the middle of a summer afternoon in Alabama, a lady asked for a cup of water. Free. Fine, most places do that. Then she asked for lemon, then ice, then a lid, then a straw. Then she said, could they just make it lemonade? Yes. That is lemonade. That is how you make lemonade. She wanted the lemonade. For free. She left mad when told no. Somewhere between water and lemonade is a very thin line, and it is priced. 43. Right at the tail end of the breakfast rush in Utah, a man pulled up to the drive-thru driving backwards, in reverse, the entire way through. He wanted the trunk facing the window because, he said, that's where he wanted the food. In the trunk. The staff refused to load a hot bag into a stranger's open trunk. He called this poor customer service. It is, in fact, common sense. The car behind him watched this whole thing with popcorn energy. Ever seen someone do this? Or is this a Utah exclusive? 44. Late on a Thursday in Illinois, a customer ordered at the drive-thru, drove up to the pickup window, and then complained no one had greeted her at the ordering speaker. She had ordered through the speaker. Successfully. Her order was in the bag on the counter. She still wanted an apology for the lack of greeting she remembered not receiving. This is memory as a suggestion, not a record. The greeting had literally been recorded on tape. She refused to listen. 45. Over at a taco drive-thru in Northern Virginia, a guy complained that the hold music between the order and the window was, in his exact words, spiritually depressing. There is no hold music. There is silence. He said the silence was the music, and it was depressing. He wanted them to play something upbeat. Through the intercom. During his 1-minute wait. This is not a spa. This is a taco stand at 9 on a Wednesday night. 46. On a slow morning in central Pennsylvania, a woman ordered extra pickles on her burger. Extra, extra, then more. The crew stacked on 20 pickle slices. She got to the parking lot, opened the burger, and came back to complain there were too many pickles and she couldn't taste the meat. She had asked, repeatedly, in writing, on camera. Some complaints are just physics with feelings, and this pickle mountain was one of them. 47. One rainy Wednesday in eastern Tennessee, a man showed up with a coupon he had made himself. In Microsoft Word. With clip art. He said the internet said any coupon works. The internet did not say that. Nobody said that. He wanted a free family meal because his homemade coupon said free family meal. It was, at best, arts and crafts. He had even added a fake barcode. The crew declined. He said it was against his First Amendment rights. It was not. 48. Around opening time at a burger drive-thru in Minnesota, a lady demanded to know why the flags on the menu board weren't flying at half-mast. There were no flags. It is a menu board. She insisted a national tragedy was happening, and every business should honor it. There was no national tragedy that day. Just a Tuesday. She wanted the crew to lower flags that did not exist to a position they could not be lowered to. The manager gave her a free hash brown and prayed silently. 49. Deep into the dinner rush in Houston, a customer complained the intercom scared his cat. He had a cat in his lap. In the car. At a drive-thru. The cat was, understandably, not thrilled. He wanted the volume of the intercom lowered for future visits. On his behalf. For his cat. Named Steven. Steven the cat has opinions about intercom levels, apparently. The staff took note. On a sticky note. That was thrown away immediately. 50. Right at the corner of the strip mall in Sacramento, a guy complained the loyalty app was not giving him his points. Turns out he had not opened the app in 3 years. His account was inactive. He wanted 3 years of retroactive points. Plus interest. Loyalty points don't earn interest. That is not a thing. He said it should be a thing. Him thinking it should be a thing is not the same as it being a thing. Language is funny that way. 51. Somewhere along a coastal Florida highway, a woman rolled up to a burger place and complained the seagulls in the parking lot were harassing her. She wanted the staff to remove them. All of them. From the sky. Personally, the manager explained that seagulls are wild birds, not employees, and do not answer to a shift schedule. She said that was not good enough. She left 1-star reviews mentioning the birds by name, though she had not in fact gotten any of their names. 52. Way past midnight at a chicken drive-thru in New Orleans, a guy asked for oat milk in his coffee. This location did not carry oat milk. He asked for almond, not carried. He asked for soy, not carried. He asked for coconut, not carried. He asked what they did carry, milk, regular milk. He said that was, in his words, primitive milk from cows, as people have consumed for thousands of years without complaint until this exact Tuesday. 53. Just after closing at a burger place in Idaho, a family knocked on the window and said it was the kid's birthday. They wanted free food. The staff, kind as ever, offered a free ice cream cone. Not enough. They wanted a full meal. For everyone. Free. Because birthday. The kid quietly was 6. His actual birthday was in March. It was October. Nice try. The parents were less embarrassed by this than the child, which tells you everything. 54. Right in the heart of Portland, a woman rolled up to a burger chain and demanded a Big Mac. This was not McDonald's. She said all burgers are the same. They are not. Names are trademarked, recipes are different. She wanted them to make her a Big Mac from memory, using their ingredients at their store. She insisted this was a reasonable request. It was not. She left 1-star reviews on 3 different apps from the parking lot before pulling out. 55. Somewhere off Interstate 80 in Nebraska, a delivery driver picking up an order complained the food was for someone else. Yes, that is how delivery works. He wanted his own free meal for having to pick up someone else's meal. That is not the job. That is the exact opposite of the job. He left a 1-star review of the restaurant from the parking lot on his phone on the customer's time. The customer was presumably still waiting at home. 56. Late on a Saturday night in downtown Charlotte, a group of 3 demanded something off the secret menu. The staff explained there is no official secret menu at this chain. The 3 said they had seen it on TikTok. TikTok is not the menu. The menu is the menu. They wanted a drink called the Unicorn Rainbow Cloud Sparkle. Nobody has ever heard of this. It was invented live in the car 10 seconds prior. They still swore it existed. 57. Just past sunrise in a small Wyoming town, a rancher pulled up to a drive-thru and complained the breakfast biscuit did not have gravy. He had not ordered gravy. This location did not sell gravy. Gravy was not on the menu. Never had been. He said gravy is implied with biscuits, and any real breakfast place would know that. The crew, who were mostly teenagers, had no answer for this. Honestly, is he wrong though? Biscuit without gravy is a controversial life choice. 58. Right after a football game in Arkansas, a customer complained his large fry was, in his opinion, medium-sized. He wanted them measured. He had a kitchen scale in his car. Yes, in his car. He weighed the fries against the menu picture. The menu picture is not scale accurate, it is a photograph. Photographs are not portion sizes. He was not convinced. The scale, however, stayed in his glove box, ready for the next unlucky drive-thru. 59. On a slow Tuesday in Vermont, a woman complained the drive-thru order screen was too bright. She wanted it dimmed, for her eyes, in broad daylight. Outside, the screen was reflecting the actual sun, which is, on average, brighter than any drive-thru screen ever built. The manager offered her sunglasses from the lost and found box. She accepted. Everyone moved on. Those sunglasses had been in that box for 2 years. Now they were doing honest work. 60. Deep into a summer heat wave in Nashville, a man complained his frozen drink was, quote, aggressively frozen. He wanted it frozen, but not, in his words, hostile. He wanted the ice to be, and I am reading this straight from the incident report, more polite. The staff did not know how to make polite ice. Nobody does. That skill is not on any drive-thru training video ever recorded, and probably never will be, no matter how many complaints get filed. 61. Right in the middle of a Wednesday lunch rush in Cleveland, a guy complained his straw was wrapped in paper. He said he preferred the plastic wrappers. This chain had switched to paper wrappers 2 years ago as part of a public sustainability push. He wanted them to go back, just for him. Corporate policy reversed at a drive-thru window by a shift lead named Brianna. That is not how corporate policy works. Brianna handled it gracefully. She has seen worse. 62. One frosty morning in upstate New York, a woman ordered a hot chocolate and complained it had chocolate in it. She said she wanted a hot chocolate that tasted like vanilla. That is a steamer. That is a real drink. It exists. She refused the steamer. She wanted hot chocolate, but vanilla flavored, but still called hot chocolate, but with no chocolate. Somewhere, a linguistics professor felt a disturbance in the force and did not know why. 63. Late one Friday in a suburb of Nashville, a customer ordered a milkshake and asked for it without dairy. The crew explained a milkshake is, by definition, made of milk and ice cream, both dairy. He said they should have a non-dairy option. This chain does not. He said that was, quote, exclusionary. Then he ordered a regular milkshake anyway, then complained it tasted like dairy. There is a version of this story where he learns something. This was not that version. 64. Way out past the last stoplight in rural Oregon, a guy at a burger drive-thru complained the bag was, in his words, too crinkly. He said it was making noise in his car. The staff offered a plastic bag instead. He said plastic was bad for the planet. Paper crinkles. That is what paper does. He wanted a silent bag. There is no such bag. There has never been such a bag. He drove away with the crinkly bag, muttering, judged by no one but himself. 65. On a mild afternoon in central Missouri, a lady at a taco place complained her lettuce was too green. She wanted lighter lettuce. Not iceberg lighter, just, in her exact words, a friendlier shade. Lettuce is green. That is the color of lettuce. That is the whole personality of lettuce. The manager, out of ideas, sprinkled a little extra sour cream on top to lighten the visual mood. She said that was better. Sometimes the answer is just sour cream. 66. Just after the morning rush ended in Baltimore, a man complained his egg sandwich had egg on it. He had ordered an egg sandwich. He said he thought egg was, quote, a suggestion. It is not. It is the name of the sandwich. It is the first word of the name of the sandwich. He wanted a refund. The manager gave him one, mostly to move the line, and gently suggested trying the pancakes next time. He said he was allergic to pancakes. Nobody is allergic to pancakes. That is not a real allergy anyone has ever had. 67. Around dusk on a Sunday in Delaware, a woman complained the drive-thru line was too long. There were 2 cars ahead of her. 2. She said in her day, drive-thrus were faster. Drive-thrus, as we know them, have existed since the 1940s. Waiting behind 2 cars has always been part of the deal. She wanted a fast pass, like at an amusement park. That is not a service any restaurant offers. She said it should be. It is not. 68. Right after a Little League practice in eastern Washington, a dad complained the kids' meal apple slices were, and I quote, too apple-flavored. His kid wanted apple slices that tasted like candy. The dad backed the kid up. The staff explained these are just apples, fresh apples. Cut into slices, that is the whole product. He said the apples at the grocery store taste different. They do not. Same apples, same trees, same everything. He left dissatisfied. So did the apples. 69. Deep into a rainy evening in northern Kentucky, a customer complained his chicken tender was shaped like the state of Florida. He was offended. He said he did not want Florida on his plate. He wanted Kentucky, or Ohio. Anything but Florida. The staff, who had run out of professional patience 3 hours earlier, offered to break the tender in half. He accepted. He said the 2 halves now looked like Rhode Island and a shoe. Closer to home, at least. Here is the question I actually want answered. What is the exact drive-thru order you would refuse to make, even if the customer was right? Not the weirdest one you heard about, the one you would quit over. Drop it in the comments, the pettier, the better. If even one of these stories made you laugh, hit that like button and subscribe. Your former co-workers are waiting to be seen.